How much time should product owners and subject matter experts spend on a Dynamics 365 or Power Platform project? That's the question we're going to answer in this video. Hi, I'm Neil Benson from Customery Academy. We're on a mission to help Microsoft customers and partners build amazing, agile business applications that everyone will love. On a recent episode of the Amazing Applications podcast, episode 43, if you're interested, I described how a product owner might spend her sprint when working in a Scrum team building a complex enterprise Dynamics 365 application. And the day after that episode was published, my real-life product owner, Lucinda, asked me to help her set expectations with her stakeholders about the time that our subject matter experts would be needed to help with the project. So in this video, we're going to answer both those questions. How much time do product owners and subject matter experts spend in a sprint? This is Diana. She's a senior HR manager, and she's been asked to take on a product owner role for the Dynamics 365 HR application we're building. And this is Natasha, a payroll specialist who's going to be assisting Diana and the developers with some of the intricacies of payroll processing and the HR system integration requirements. Diana and Natasha want to know how much time they'll have to spend with the Scrum team building Dynamics 365 HR. Do they need to find someone to backfill their existing roles, or can they continue to perform their job, or most of it, while contributing to the Scrum team? Here's Diana's 2-week sprint. Each 2x10 block represents 1 week. So 1 day is 2 studs by 2 studs. Diana's first activity is the daily Scrums. Product owners don't have to attend daily Scrums, but Diana's developers have an open door invitation and Diana's happy to attend. She finds the daily Scrums a useful opportunity to discover any impediments that are blocking the team's progress that she might be able to help with. Most days, there'll be something coming up at the daily Scrum and she either stays behind afterwards or spends some time following up later. Most product owners don't spend as much time in daily Scrums as Diana, and maybe she'll reduce her involvement as the project progresses. Her next activity is sprint planning. The event is usually about 2 hours long, but Diana often spends an hour preparing for it by finalizing the order of the product backlog and drafting some ideas for the sprint goal. Diana's developers practice something called the Three Amigos, which is a huddle between the developers who are going to work together on a backlog item. A Three Amigos involves a business analyst, a programmer or functional consultant, and a tester. They discuss the item, agree how they're going to approach it, and when they're hoping to get it done. Usually the developers run the Three Amigos themselves, but sometimes Diana steps in if the analyst isn't available, since there's only one analyst in the team. Backlog refinement takes up a significant chunk of Diana's time every sprint. She usually runs 3 or 4 workshops with the business analyst, subject matter experts, and sometimes an architect will provide some technical options or advice. In these workshops, Diana is refining epics into smaller user stories, combining small stories together, deleting items that aren't valuable enough, reordering the items, writing new cards for technical debt that needs to get paid down, adding acceptance criteria, and clarifying any questions that come up. 1 or 2 backlog refinement sessions involve the developers too. They get a shared understanding of the backlog and estimate the complexity of items near the top. A few sprints ago, Diana's team started a practice called feature previews. Before the developers have finished developing and testing an item, they'll show it to Diana for some quick feedback. This lets the team make a few tweaks to the user interface or the business process, and they found that it improves the overall quality and the delight they deliver to the users. Diana takes 1 or 2 external meetings each sprint. Sometimes she joins the check-ins with the Microsoft Fast Track team or hosts her Microsoft Partners account team for a progress and feedback update. Diana's project is significant for her organization, so she also has meetings with an external project assurance consultancy, as well as a security vendor performing penetration testing. Much more time is spent by Diana engaging her internal stakeholders than her external ones. She's preparing and presenting reports to the project board, the portfolio review board, and the board of directors. There are still a few traditional Prince 2 ways of working in Diana's organisation, so epics and estimates must be approved by a committee of general managers and her HR director. Lastly, she joins the rest of the Scrum team to present their progress to all her stakeholders at the sprint review before the Scrum team settles back for the sprint retrospective. Look at how much of Diana's time is left as free time. That's the time she has available for learning how to be a better product owner and learning about what's new in Dynamics 365 HR. Did you hear it's rejoining the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations apps? It doesn't leave much room to perform her previous role as a senior HR manager, does it? 4 hours in daily scrums and 8 hours in other sprint events, 4 hours in Three Amigos, 8 hours in feature previews, 20 hours in backlog refinement, 20 hours working with her stakeholders, 8 hours in external meetings, and just 8 hours of free time. This includes not just the time spent in those activities, but the planning and preparation time, scheduling and follow-ups, and all the email and writing up as well. That's Diana's sprint. Your product owner's sprint won't look quite like Diana's, but this is close to what a sprint looks like for a lot of the product owners I've worked with. If you're building a complex enterprise Dynamics 365 or Power Platform application, you just can't get away from it. The product owner role is a full-time responsibility. To answer my real product owner Lucinda's question about SME's involvement in a Microsoft Business Applications project, here's Natasha, the payroll specialist. Here's what her sprint looks like. Natasha doesn't get involved in the daily scrums or sprint planning, so her first activity is backlog refinement. She joins 2 backlog refinement workshops each sprint. Natasha's keen to provide feedback on new features, so she joins a couple of the feature preview workshops to help the developers fine-tune what they're building before it's done. The new HR application is just a few sprints away from its first production release, and Natasha is involved in acceptance testing and running Dynamics 365 through some end-to-end business scenarios involving changes to employee pay and leave and tax bans and benefits and all that good stuff. At the end of the sprint, Natasha joins the Scrum team, all the other subject matter experts and stakeholders for the sprint review, where she tries to provide constructive feedback on the team's progress, most of which she already knew about, and share her thoughts about where the product backlog should go next from a payroll perspective. 2 hours in the sprint review, 8 in acceptance testing, 2 more in feature previews, and 4 hours in backlog refinement workshops. That's 16 hours per sprint on average. Natasha's a fairly committed subject matter expert, donating 1 day per week to the Scrum team's efforts to build Dynamics 365 and to ensure that it meets payroll's integration requirements. There you have it. I've been building Microsoft Business Applications with Scrum since 2008 and found that the best product owners are committed full-time to our Scrum team, and subject matter experts, on average, share about 1 day per week, giving us their requirements and providing feedback on our application's features. If you'd like to find out more about adopting an agile approach to building Power Platform and Dynamics 365 apps, click on the link in the description down below to join my free Agile Foundations for Microsoft Business Applications mini course. Until next time, keep sprinting.